Okay, you can see here we have some veiny material. It's cream of annata. We also have some sink cutouts, which I put some scores in with the table saw. What we're going to end up doing is actually doing a vein match out of cream of annata and then lining up the scores from each 3 pieces to get them together and show how that comes together. So what we have here, this is our EOS program. This allows us to take pictures remotely. Obviously the camera is mounted on the ceiling, so we can't actually take a picture with the camera. So what we're going to do is snap a picture. It's going to load into the EOS program. Just see loading here. What it's doing right now is actually calibrating the image so that it's the proper size for this table. Once that is done, we'll actually come here and save that file. It'll give it a timestamp. It should be at 3:02. Then we'll come into RoboEyes, actually open that picture, which is in the processed image folder, 3:02 timestamp. We're then going to open up a file that I've set up for this with a small L shape and 3 pieces with some interesting seams. So what we'll do is we'll actually take these pieces and move them onto the slab. Virtual layout window open now, so it's actually going to show us what we're doing as we're doing it. Let's see here. Looks like a good spot. Rotate this piece as well. So keep the veiny portion of this material in the seams for our demonstration. Let's move this over here. Put this out of the way. Oh, I almost dropped it in a great spot. Let's make some adjustments here. I'm making very small adjustments here just to try and line this up perfectly. I'm actually going to move this piece a little bit. This one I think I did too far here as well. Back to this. And actually I'm pretty satisfied with that. This material has a lot of veining in it. You're never probably going to get that exact match unless you have book match slabs. We have to remember that this is coming out of one piece, so as good as you can, when you're actually zoomed out, you can see that it actually flows pretty well together. So what we'll do next is actually grab these pieces. I'm going to move them up individually just into their area so we can get a nice close look when we actually get to them. Let's see, this one here. Button and move in here. We'll get this zoomed in nice and close as well so we can see where those scores actually are in the material. Now what we'll do is actually move this piece, try and get that middle line centered. That actually looks pretty good. Rotate this one and get it squared out. That looks pretty good as well. Let's move this one. Is pretty close as well. This looks like it may be off a little bit here, but I'm going to go ahead and trust it. It looks pretty good by eye. So now what we'll do is, now that we've got all our pieces laid out, we're going to save this file. I'm going to save it right to my Flow network which is this one here. It's going to give it a timestamp of 302. So we already have 3 files in there. This one's going to be 302 and go on the flow network. So I'll save that. Take a second. We're on a wireless connection here. So then what we're going to do is actually come over to our flow computer. This is the flow cut, so I'm going to open up the flow path. Let's go and open. We're going to open that 302 DXF. Okay, we're going to select our pieces here. Okay, so you can see we have the 2 portions of that L shape and then these 3 here. I'm going to give it, we're varying material here, so I'm going to keep it slow at 60. And then we got to do is set up our lead-ins and lead-outs. And I need to make an adjustment here. We need the 1/3 line. That'll work. That one. That one. That one. And we'll actually path these. Okay, we want to stick to the right. Okay, now that our pathing's done, we're going to export that file, just like you normally would. We'll leave it as 302. And what we'll do is go into the flow cut program. Go back here from this last job. We're going to go and actually open that 302 file. Okay, so we have our pieces there. We have 1 1/4 inch thickness. Leaving it as a dark color again. We're varying material here, so we want to make sure that we're not cutting too fast. We'll actually open this. We're going to start on low pressure. I'm going to turn my pump on. And then we're going to get ready to cut here. You want to shoot down a little bit. Real quick. While that's cutting, we're going to break these apart, see how they came together. Obviously, they're not fitting perfectly together because of water jet curve and all of that. You can see that the lines actually match up really well. So we'll wait and see what happens with this bayonet. up the pieces. We'll see what we end up with. Got that hammer. Okay, so you can see that it actually turned out the way we wanted it. I'm going to hand off the camera to Leo here and then grab the computer so we can actually see. It went to sleep, so it's going to need 1 second here, but come around this way, and you can see that the way that the seam is actually ended up exactly how we planned it. This area coming through here, that area up top, this doesn't line up, which we see there, but we see everything else coming through.